Hello, my green skins, and we are finally doing Barbarian Month, and I'm here with our local my local editor and friend Shaningan. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, thanks.
All right, and we are doing Crawl for Barbarian Month. So what's your first thoughts on Crawl? What are you thinking here?
Well, I feel like this movie was, to put it simply, I did not enjoy it very much.
Okay, well, let's break this down then. That's an interesting way to look at it. So first, we'll start with what everyone seems to remember from Crawl, and that's the music. What did you think of the music of Crawl?
Really? This is surprising to know because the music left no impact on me whatsoever. It was simply just orchestral fantasy,
Wow.
something standard. It didn't. It's not as memorable as something like Indiana Jones, which might be surprising to some people. I'm not a fan of anyway, but at least I can know it when I hear it. Or Star Wars.
A lot of people remember it from the opening, and if you've ever played D&D, like we make the joke that this is a lot of our me and my D&D buddies call it Spelljammer the movie, and it does have that vibe of very high fantasy, and it is a memorable song. Like there's a couple times I'll be humming it away. So at least the opening is actually quite good.
Okay, okay. It
So,
like I said, it didn't leave an impact on me, and it just. But that was the least of my problems with this movie.
oh wow. Okay, so let's talk about I guess we'll go with choreography first. Next.
Oh,
What did you think of
choreography.
the fight scenes and stuff? What did you think of that?
Oh man, I think this honestly. Oh man, I'm afraid I'm gonna piss off a lot of people. Very underwhelming. It was very slow. Like with these guys, I felt like I was watching practice takes, going, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. It wasn't fast, and I've seen sword fight films from the 70s and 60s and before. This is the 80s where it's supposed to be a little bit better, but I don't know. It was very slow. It was very I was not excited at all. Maybe the editing was just not very dynamic enough for what they were going for.
Same. So, well, here's how I feel about the choreography. It's okay. There are moments it's good, and there are moments it's just bad. Like it's a weird kind of hit and miss with this one. This has always been a hit and miss for me, and I like it. And then at the same time, I'm like, you know, it's kind of a little bit all over the place for me. It's not the best fantasy fighting uh, fight fight scenes. Now let's break down the acting. What did you think of the actors and the acting for this?
I have I really don't have any criticism towards the acting except that it's just the dialogue and the script is very very cheesy, and I don't mean that in a good way. It's like I think the actors did their best with what they were given.
I get that vibe from this one for me that the acting is very well done, but it's almost like you get a script of something that's like you feel like you're halfway through a series movie. Like you almost feel like you missed something almost. It has some pretty decent world building, but it's not the greatest. I will say it has just its moments. Now let's get to the visual effects.
I
Oh, sorry. What did you want to continue on?
Oh no, no, I just wanted to add on that. Yeah, visual effects. That's the one thing I will praise this movie for. It does have its duds here and there, but I will still take these practical effects over poorly rendered
Oh,
CGI any day.
they're they're beautiful, and there's like if you want to ever be creeped out. Now it's a little bit of a spoiler here, but the crystal spider, Jesus fuck, that thing is so creepy.
Well, that's one of the things that was a bit of a miss for me, but
I
yeah,
didn't find it interesting because of how they did it. It actually, they really did like, and it was really good art. Like they got the guy they got to do it was really good. So
no, the stop motion, like it both works and doesn't work at the same time. It works that on the
yeah,
one hand it's stop motion, but on the second hand, stop motion adds a creepy vibe to something, like the
Eh,
Terminator, for example.
Uncanny Valley, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel about this one. I thought they did a great job for visual effects. There were some fun laser shots and stuff. Now the story.
what story?
I don't think. What did you think of the story of this movie altogether?
Rushed. I think this is the kind of story that needs to be told as a TV series, not a movie, because the problem is when I'm having a stroke over here. I'm always having strokes with these streams. Um, One of the problems with this movie is that there are too many characters with motivations that are not properly explored because again, too many things going on. So all we know is it's a damsel in distress story, and stuff happens in between. I get that we're going for the kind of it's about the journey, not the end goal kind of thing, but there is a right way to do that.
I don't know. I've always had the impression that it was a decent enough movie, and it had its moments where it was really really good. And that's the problem. It's one of those like you do have a movie here that's just has its moments where it's really bad at the same time. It has great moments. For there are some great scenes and there are some good moments, but it does feel like you do feel like you just kind of stepped into something. My friend likes to say, "Is this a Spelljammer D&D campaign?" Because that's what this reminded him of. Like it just reminded him of Dungeons and Dragons, and that's kind of the reason I like this. This was D&D before anything else, any other D&D stuff was kind of made out for movies. I think personally, I think this was really well done. Hey, excuse me, didn't mean to on there. And it is really kind of sad because it feels like, damn, I wish this was, I wish this had a little bit more to it.
I
And
feel like
go ahead.
I feel like if they trimmed this movie down, it would be better because, like I said, the pacing is a big problem. The first 20 minutes, I was falling asleep. I'm not joking. I
I
was
won't go
getting
all the way
tired.
through because it is a little bit of a guilty pleasure for me. This one's one of those ones I really like to watch every once in a while. I can sit back and watch this movie, just for fun every day, and just be having, hey, you know what, this is a good movie. It's something I can sit down to say, you know what, I like this. I want to watch it. I
But
want to get a lot of stuff done. So I actually do enjoy the movie
but I
for
can
that, and
understand.
I've even made the joke. It's one of those movies I can put on in the background while I'm working on something or reading something, and I'll look up and have a little bit of enjoyment. It's one of those type of movies. I really do like it, but it's just not it's a good movie, not a great movie in my opinion.
I
So what do you want to rate this movie?
I don't know. This is I can I
Be
the
honest, my friend. Be honest.
I'm just
YouTube
trying to
likes
say
honesty.
that if again if they cut this movie down, if they removed certain things, there's probably a not half bad movie within this because I fell asleep. Like I said, I couldn't watch this movie in one sitting. I struggled on the second one because there was more of it. I had more to sit through on the second sitting
Mhm,
than on my first. So,
mhm.
but I did pause quite a bit to get snacks to try to keep myself going. It was a very tedious experience. So, yeah, I give it a no rating. This is a movie that's
No, you got to give it a rating. I want even if it's bad, I want a rating from 1 to 10. That's the rule.
I'm gonna be generous and give it a 4. just for visuals,
I'm gonna
special
give it
effects.
about a. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, uh, that was my point. Four, mainly for
For I'm
visuals.
gonna give it about a 5.9. It's close to being almost. It's average. It's close to being a good movie. It needs something more. Although, like I said, the music is what's really good in it. There's some really good stuff in it, and it's sad that it just feels like it does feel way too long. And I will agree to that. That's a common complaint about this one. Now for the big question: is this Barbarian or not?
I don't think it's Barbarian at all. So I find this kind of an odd choice you would pick for Barbarian Month.
I picked this because I wanted to start with something most people have. Everyone's heard about Krull. This is kind of the reasoning. Everyone's heard about Krull, but no one's ever freaking seen the movie. It's one of those movies where you're like, yeah, oh, or you'll see the glaive pops up in pop culture everywhere. But I don't know that many people have actually sat down and watched the freaking movie. Like, it's a rare movie to see someone actually sit down and actually watch it. I know less people that have watched that movie than have seen like 50 other movies. Like, there's just so much other stuff that I know people just haven't seen. So it's one of those type of things where I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I figure I'd give you a movie that I knew that you'd probably be like, well, I don't know if I like this. But at the same time, I think you'd probably give it at least a shot. So yeah.
It
I
was
figured
a
give you
it was a
what?
very tedious ordeal to sit through.
You found this one tedious. Well, I don't know. Barbarian Month might be interesting. If you found this one tedious,
Oh boy,
I wonder what you'll think of the next movie we're going to be doing.
oh boy, what's it gonna be?
I am thinking the sword and the sorcerer will be the next one.
The Sword and the
Or the
Sorcerer.
sorcerer and the sword, one of the two. It's an interesting movie it's an Italian fantasy movie, if I remember correctly. And it's also known for having an awesome badass sword.
All right, I guess I have no choice but to suck it up and watch it and tell you what I think. But
Oh yeah, we're gonna break through it, break it down. This isn't our worst month yet. We still haven't done stuff. So for those that are actually paying attention to us, we're planning on eventually doing a hate month. We're gonna let people pick the movies we review. We've even discussed. I know I'm quite under subscribed to consider a Patreon, but we're debating about doing it as a Patreon goal. That yeah, you can pick our movies and see if we more people want to hear watch us watch and suffer through stuff. But yeah, I got a couple ideas. I'm actually going to think of the what the fuck movies might be the next one that we're coming up. And you still have to pick yours. I think you want to do Alien Month. We're going to do a bunch of the Alien movies. So we'll
yeah,
figure it out as we go.
yeah, Alien Month. Def- Definitely gonna do that. But just to clarify, when I say Alien Month, I don't mean the Alien franchise. I mean movies about
About
aliens. You know,
yeah,
like Men in Black and stuff like that.
yeah, we'll definitely have to have a look at that. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming out and hearing us rant about the movie Crawl, and keep your eyes peeled on Barbarian Month.
All right. Have a good
Have a
night.
good one, guys. See ya.